I ran the Leadville 100 6 weeks ago, and I've only had about 4.5 to 5 weeks of trying to get some speed work in to run a sub 2:45 marathon. This video is going to be that attempt. So I just finished packing. Right now I'm going to be programming for my online clients until I leave. But in the meantime, I want to show you some major workouts that I did called indicator workouts to see if I am fit enough and fast enough to run this sub 2:45 marathon with, again, minimal time involved. These are workouts that you can do as a test. These are one of the workouts I don't recommend because I'm also training for Survive the Night in 4 weeks. So hopefully I don't get banged up from this marathon. But I want to go over those indicator workouts before we head up to Corning, New York. Okay, this is exactly what I did over the past 4 to 5 weeks. That all my speed workouts, all my indicator workouts, to know if I am fit enough to actually toe the starting line and go for this goal, or just am I just going off blind faith and a little trust. So here's what we got. First off, I managed to hold 40 to 50 miles a week. Ideal, like I said, no, but the quality was higher. So it wasn't a lot more aerobic work, more so speed if I could. So bigger runs followed by, maybe a bigger easy run the next day, doubling up a lot of my runs, getting some elevation gain on a lot of my runs. So again, quality. Quality is elevation gain, speed, long runs, tempo work, any type of session that's other than an easy session. That's how I view it, at least. When your timeline is short, you have to have more quality work. Next. First run I did after Leadville was a welcome back to the track. This is just to get the legs going and go off feel. I really wasn't looking off my times. So we did one warm-up, 4x400s, which I think were right just about like finishing like 1:15, I think, for all four of them. 4x800s with like a 1 minute rest in between these two. 4x800s, which were a 2:39 to 2:40, 2:41, I think, for all four, and then one cool down. That was just to see what it's like to go fast again, introduce true speed to my body. Next, I did the Coros running fitness test. So what this is on the watch, I have the Coros Apex 2 Pro. For those that don't know, on the watch there is a fitness test where it'll adjust your projections. It'll give your lactate threshold pace, your lactate heart rate, and then other projections along the way. What you do is you put in your projected 10K fastest time, and it gives a range, so you don't need to know an exact number. And then it's going to give you certain paces to hold. There's a first segment of a 10-mile warm-up. I just did a 2-mile warm-up. Then the segment is 25 minutes at a certain pace, 3 minutes at a faster pace, and 3 minutes at a faster pace than that, and then a cool down. And based off how fast your heart rate levels out, where your heart rate is at for those efforts, given conditions too, so you want to choose a good day to do it, that'll give you your adjustments. And so that is what I did there. And that is where then I went off those numbers, which is where it'll then give me my projections. So Coros, I'll put it like right here. These are my projections from that fitness test, and this is what I held. This is, again, just to get as much data as I can, and luckily enough, Coros has this. If you guys are in the market for a watch, you could use code Matt with the purchase of a watch to get a free band. I've used Coros since I started running, and I was never working with them. I just loved it, and here we are now with them. Pretty cool full circle moment. Next up, we did mile repeats. So again, I'm just telling you every workout I did. Mile repeats, 1 mile warm up, 5 by 1 mile at a 5:43 with a 2-minute jogging rest in between. That is important to say jogging rest and not standing rest. The 2-minute jogging rest was more of like a float, so I wasn't really slowing down too much. The 1 miles, I chose a 5:43 because I wanted to go a little bit faster than what my half marathon pace was earlier in the year. I averaged a 5:52, which is, I still don't know how I did that. But here we are. So that was cool to get a longer speed type of format. Then we went into a steady state run. This was a few days after, so it was almost like back to back. Steady state is just something that's comfortably hard. It shouldn't be too hard at all. And it was 1 mile warm up, 5 miles at a 6:30 pace. So again, 6:30 pace for me, my heart rate was zone 2. I was on a track, yes, so conditions were easy. But 6:30 pace for me, my heart rate was zone 2, low, like mid zone 2. And it didn't feel hard at all. I felt like I could have closed my eyes and held that pace forever, which is great. And then a 1 mile cool down. Here's where it gets interesting. This is where things kind of change up. I did a long run with marathon pace. I know we all have done that before. So what I did here was the goal was 20 miles. and I wanted 12 easy. My easy pace was right around an 8-minute pace, maybe a little bit below. And then I did 8 miles at marathon pace. This was one of my first failed runs in a long time. Failed meaning like I gave up, I quit on myself. I had to pause my watch and walk 3 times for like 30 seconds. And I hit my pace maybe for 5 out of the 8 miles, unfortunately. There was a little bit of gain or a decent amount of gain throughout. This race isn't going to have a lot of gain, but still, no excuses. I should be hitting this. Conditions were not good. I just was not feeling good. I wasn't feeling good the entire time. It was one of those days. And then we did 2 miles easy after that to get me to like 21, 22 miles, which was, again, still got the volume, still got the miles. This next workout, I have indicator on it. I do not expect anybody to do this workout. I'm doing this because I'm also training for Survive the Night. And I was going to listen to my body 100%. How do I feel through this? Should I keep pushing? Is it going to lead to something popping up? Injury? No? Okay, let's keep going. The goal was to run a 50K around the track. Here is what I did, and here's what I did last year after Last Man Standing as an indicator to know where I'm at. I did 7 sets of 1 mile easy. That easy pace was not slow. 1 mile easy, and then 2 miles at a 6:10. It came out to an average of a 6:10. I wanted to hold below 6:15. I was almost below 6:10 on every single one. 2 miles at a 6:10. That's 1 set. So those 3 miles is 1 set. I did 7 sets of that. And then I finished off with 10 miles easy. My average pace for this run was a 6:52 minute per mile pace for 31 miles. I hit a 2:57 marathon 3/4 of the way through, a 1:28 half marathon, I think it was. Do I recommend doing that? No. This was more of a gut check for me to make up for this run. Again, I'm coaching myself through this. And then the one that we all know, the Yasso 800s. If you do 10 800-meter repeats in your goal time or less, you should be able to hit it based off if prior fitness matches up. So volume, aerobic base, everything. 1 mile warm-up, 10 by 800s at under 245. I hit every single one there. Low 240s the entire time, every single one, and then did a 1 mile cool down. So based off that, and this was with a 90-second walking, jogging rest in between. So that's another thing too. With the Yassos, it wants a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. I don't do that anymore. I do a 90 seconds at most, maybe 60 seconds, and not standing. I'm doing a jogging or a walking rest. Because if I'm able to do that with harder conditions, my body is able to recoup faster and should be able to be good for race day. So this was the last indicator workout I did last week, and it was a good one, and I felt really good through it. So this is everything. All the runs I did, all the quality sessions I did in those 4 weeks. It's not a lot, but it does give me a good idea of where I'm at, and everything just has to be put together race day. So Wineglass Marathon, what is the race I'm looking at right now? This is a net downhill race, and I told myself I would never do that. But I was supposed to do Chicago, and then I have my cousin's wedding next week. So Chicago's next week, or I guess when you watch this, maybe it'll be that week. So unfortunately, I had to defer my bib to next year. But I was like, okay, what's a closer race, same timeline where I can do this? And Wineglass came up. I've heard good things. It's in upstate New York. It is a net downhill race. I think we're going to look at the elevation profile so you can get an idea. So here is what we got. I know it looks all the way downhill, but there are some climbs that'll get you. Here at 6-ish, 5 to 6, a little one at 14.5, a little one at 8.5, and a little one at 21. And again, these climbs aren't anything drastic. I've ran a lot harder races. I mean, I just did the Leadville 100, so I know a little thing about elevation gain or not. But the beginning is a slight downhill. Slight, very slight. And when you combine the first 5 miles of a slight downhill, kind of like the Boston Marathon, with then a climb, people's quads are going to blow up right around here. And so strategic pacing wise, here's what we're looking at. If ChatGPT information, it'll help you out. So I said, this is the elevation profile for my marathon tomorrow. I want to ideally run under a 245, maybe a 243. Can you make a pacing plan? So it gave me everything based off that. There's 600 feet of loss, and I think there's 400 feet of gain maybe, which again, isn't much. Ideally, negative splitting this race would be cool, but we're gonna see. I like to have benchmarks. I'll screenshot this and put it as my phone screensaver because that is what I will be running with. And then the benchmarks I like to have as well. I wanted to fill you guys in on everything because I haven't been on here in a while, and I want to continue doing YouTube. So let's text Elizabeth because she should be done by now. And we're going to get up to upstate New York. And we're going to run this damn race tomorrow morning, 7:45. I like throwing out projections. So, I got to be honest, me and the bathroom haven't been friends these past 2 days. I went like 5 times yesterday. And again, you could say gross. This is the transparency. My stomach hasn't been good these past few days. I've gone 3 times today. It's only 11:30. If everything holds up, I think physically my body can carry me to 2:45. Mentally, I know I can. Time-wise, I could see two things I could see. I could see one being a 2:42.24, so really going for it, or 2 being a 2:44.49, just getting underneath. Either way, both those times will get me into Boston for 2027, and that's the overlying goal. So let's get up to upstate New York. Good morning. Oh wait, it's 12:41. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is it recording?
Yeah. It's
recording. Yeah.
The camera's in here. This is how I keep you tamed. I keep the camera on.
You're supposed to be tamed.
Sorry. We need to go to the Corning Museum of Glass. We have 3 hours and 35 minutes to get to the Corning Museum of Glass because Corning, New York is the national capital of wine glass production.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what Brian said.
That's why it's called
Wineglass Marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to the Museum of Glass, and that's where the expo is to get a bit. And we're gonna get some food on the way. First stop, and we got a turkey sandwich. I don't know how many carbs this is, but we're close to 200 on the day, I think. And then what did you get?
turkey sandwich, but on a round roll.
And these were the same price.
Yeah, ridiculous.
How does that work? We have made it to Corning, New York. Like a 3-hour, 45-minute drive. And now we gotta go to the Museum of Glass. Right there.
Huh? What?
I keep saying it's gonna be a little bit hot. It's gonna be 60s and 50s and 40s. I'm sick of it. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
Woo!
I said this is the winning event.
That's the winning one.
Okay, we got all our food shopping done for dinner and breakfast. We're gonna eat dinner at the house. Elizabeth is gonna cook the dinner. Gonna make the dinner. Can you show what we're eating right now? Okay. And I put out a time earlier at my house of what I think I'm gonna finish in. Can you give me a time that you think I'm gonna finish in tomorrow?
2:43:52.
Okay. All right, welcome to the crib. It is 6:30, so we're gonna make dinner, unload the groceries, make dinner, do some little mobility, and get to bed. Dinner time. Here's what we got. This pizza, I don't know if I'm gonna finish all this. pasta. And then in this bottle, I have 1 scoop of fuel from Raw. You could actually use code MZELAYA for Raw, any products from Raw, because I am now with them, no longer with Transparent Labs. So 1 scoop of fuel, which is 25 grams of carbs and 300 milligrams of sodium, and then I have a half scoop of this in there as well, which is 500 milligrams. There's 1,000 milligrams per serving in here. So that'll get me close to like 800, 900 milligrams of sodium. And down that before bed, load up. This should get me to, I want to say, close to 300 grams of carbs on the day. And then we're going to do some mobility after this. I'm tapping out here. That's what we got left. Again, right around 300 grams of carbs. Kind of wanted a little bit more, but stomach's been acting up these past few days, so we're just going to get just enough and go from there. Mobility and everything is done. Tomorrow's race shoe of choice. You already know what we rock with. Hoka Cielo X1 2.0s. I don't run in these literally until race day. I've done no training runs in them. Just my Berlin half, my Disney half. No, I didn't do my Disney half. Berlin half, and like one other race. So these things are fresh. They're ready to go. I've never ran in a shoe that is as fast as these. I've never ran in Alpha Flies, but these are them. These are it. These are the ones. If you want to run fast, you run in these. It's 8:30 right now. We're going to go to bed. Race starts 7:45, so we're going to be up at like 5. I like to get my meal in at least 2 hours prior. So go 5. The race is 35 minutes away. So that'll give us enough time. I'll pick up in the morning. Time to go fast, baby. Let's do it. Good morning. It is 5:34. Right now we're having some oatmeal, a little loaf of sourdough bread. If I finish both this, I might have another one of these. Close to 40 grams of carbs, 50 grams of liquid carbs in here, and then this will get me just a little over 100. I'm usually going to have solids 2 hours before the race, so I'm going to try to get this down, and then we'll sip on some water, some other things, make sure I'm going to the bathroom prior. Caffeine, this will help with that. Also, look at this butter. Usually I would do sourdough bread with honey, but we're not home.
Nice jacket.
So we made it to the starting corrals. Buses took us up here. Went to the bathroom. Stomach is feeling a little bit better. Wasn't able to finish all my fluids that I needed to, so I substituted with salt tabs, salt pills. I got 4 in my back pocket just in case. I got 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes in here that I'll try to just sip on. Feeling wise, Never Second gels. Got 5 of these and then 2 caffeinated ones. 200 milligrams of sodium and 30 grams of carbs. The goal is 2 every hour. Basically 1 every 20 to 25 minutes. Especially in the beginning when I'm trying to load up. So we'll alternate in the beginning regular and caffeinated. Start with the regular, go caffeinated, regular, caffeinated, so that'll get me to
Good morning, runners. Welcome to the start of the full marathon.
a little over an hour in. And yeah, just finish the dynamic warm-up and everything along those lines. And the race starts in 8 minutes. That's a downhill start if I've seen it. It's kind of like Boston. You go down it for the first 4 miles and there's a little bit of a climb. But it's beautiful today. You can ask for better race weather.
What? It's alright. Do you need anything? Alright. I know it's getting hot. You want to take those arm sleeves off? Take your shirt off. Okay.
All right, hamstring. All right, calf.
Alright.
Terrible cramp.
Did you take the salt tabs? Take a salt tab before the cramps get bad. And make sure you do bring your knees up higher, because remember, you could stretch your hamstring. Kick your feet out more while you're running. How I heel strike, it'll stretch your hamstring as you're running. But take the salt tabs. Take them now before it gets bad, okay? I love you! Here we go, Matt. You want more? Okay. You think you should take another one? I also have, what's it called? Water. You want that? Okay. You look strong. You're looking strong. I know you're not feeling great, but you're looking strong. Alright, it's alright. Go, Matthew. You got it. You got it, Matt. I'm proud of you. I love you. I know. I'll see you at the finish, okay? I love you. Keep pushing. Hello.
All right. Wineglass Marathon, little debrief. 2:48, 20 something, I think. 6:24 pace. Everything was on pace. It was averaging right around, I guess, 6:15 to 6:17, all until mile 20. And then it was a steady downhill from mile 20. I was struggling for the majority of it. Nothing really felt smooth. Maybe the first 4 miles, I was like, okay, that went quick. After that, it was like every mile, I'm like, am I almost there? Not yet. Usually in a marathon, you know you're going to do well when the first 15, 16 are smooth. It feels effortless. You feel like you're flowing. It didn't feel that way in this case, and it was just a dogfight from the beginning. And at the halfway point, I knew it was going to be a dogfight, and I knew there was a high chance of me not getting this. Yeah, the last 6 miles just felt empty. Had nothing left in me. Last 3 miles, I don't even know how I was moving my legs. Never felt that way in a marathon before. I've ran a lot of marathons, but happy with the PR. Happy with the Boston qualifying time, and I'm happy with only 4 to 5 weeks of speed work post-Leadville, plus traveling to 4 different states across the world. So can't be mad. Now we have eyes on, survive the night. That's it. Where are we right now?
I think we're in Pennsylvania. Yeah, we are.
Pennsylvania.
But it feels like Kentucky.
So I got the special. It's 2 sloppy joes with coleslaw and pickles for $8.
That's when you know.
Yeah, I'm a regular here. We'll see how it is when it comes out. I don't know. I was telling her, if you were to like blindfold me, knock me out, wake me up a day later, and drop me in this bar and ask me where I'm at, Oklahoma, Texas, not Pennsylvania. It's been 2 weeks since the marathon, and I've had some time to reflect and think about everything that went on. First things first, the marathon owes you nothing. I knew coming into this race, the chances of failure were high. You can't cheat a prep, you can't cheat a goal, especially when that goal was to be 5 minutes faster than where my previous PR was at, with no real prep, winging it for 45 weeks. But the reason why I didn't change the goal wasn't because I knew I probably couldn't do it. It was more so because in the off chance that I can, what would that mean to me? What would that mean to myself and my confidence moving forward? I'm willing to take that risk every single time. I'd rather fall flat on my face shooting for an ambitious goal than settle for something that I know I can do. And this was a perfect example of that. I'll see you guys at Survive the Night.